Hello, going to show you a knife today. This is a Ibberson Sheffield genuine British Army knife. Genuine because maybe there was a range of imposter knives that weren't genuine, so they feel the need to preach the genuinity of the thing on the case there, which is a really nice little bit of engraving there. Geez, this webcam's not so great, but yeah, a really cool little bit of engraving work there. Stainless steel, made in England, where in Sheffield, which is a bit of an industrial steel capital of England, I think. It's a 4-piece multi-tool, or the Leatherman would say it's 5 pieces because Leatherman count things like this as tools when they list their products. Crafty devils. So it's a sheep's foot blade. Sheep's foot means that it doesn't have a point really. I mean, it's got a very slight point, but a sheep's hoof ends like that, so that's how it gets its name. It's naval in origin. It's difficult to stab someone with a sheep's foot blade, and those sailors were a mutinous bunch, as we all know from the movies and things. So they gave them all these knives for cutting their rope. And what they used to do was, the knives weren't even super sharp. You'd put it against the rope and you'd strike the back of it with a mallet, and that'd cut your rope for you. So yeah, a bit of history there. So that's the blade. This blade's good, it opens all your boxes and stuff. This is quite sharp, it's a full flat grind. I was drawn to it because it's really shiny, it's got a nice high gloss finish, which of course turns to scratchy and horrible because I use it rather than keep it locked away. It's a $35 knife, so I figure if I bust it or break it, I'd just get another one. What also drew me to this was it's very non-threatening, and I was at the post office and I was carrying bubble wrap, and I used a Bear Grylls folding scout knife, which is still, by other standards, not a imposing knife at all, but it's one of those drop point type knives. It has serrations on it, and it just looks a bit more. I mean, the average person's watermark on knives is Rambo, so it looks a bit more Rambo-ish than this thing. This is very civilized, I think. So that also drew me to the knife, the sheeple friendliness. Okay, the second tool is this, the flat blade screwdriver, which definitely does a pry function as well because it sits about a centimetre into the knife. It's wedged between those two layers of steel very tightly. So I've used this to get paint lids off of paint cans, and I think that is a good watermark for the success of something as a pry tool. So very successful pry tool. I'm sure it's an adequate screwdriver, but I haven't come across any screws that big. It'd be great if it was a little bit smaller because then it'd fit my sprinkler heads. It'd be a great sprinkler tool, but I guess not. Next tool up, and first point of annoyance, is this can opener. Very difficult to get out, can opener. This thing has literally been soaking in oil. I keep it in a home toolbox now, and a thing of single machine oil has spilt in that toolbox, and so it's been bathing in it for a month, and so about as oily as a knife can get, and it's still stiff. So it's obviously a manufacturing issue where there's not a, maybe it needs a wash oil. I don't know, but it's definitely not easy to get out. And we've got a marlin spike. A marlin spike again is a naval item. It's for untying knots. You just worm it into the weak point of a knot and wiggle it around and force it through, and as it climbs this part here, it gets the knot untied. It's got heaps of other applications as well. I use it for starting when it's a hot day and I'm out doing sprinklers, using the poly piping and stuff. I use it to start little holes for the little push-in sprinklers on poly piping, because even unless it's a scaldingly hot day and the pipes are really soft, sometimes the little nozzles of the sprinklers don't quite do the job, and you can find them folding and bending. So I use this as a little starter. It's great. It just sits comfortable in your hand. You just push it in, and it does the job. Starts your sprinkler. It's got a very robust lanyard ring or key ring or whatever sort of ring, which I don't use. I reckon a pocket clip would have been a better choice, because you can always see where a pocket clip would go on these two divots here and then down the body of the tool, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, If you're after a new knife, if you're a bit of a collector, you don't see these very often. It's a bit strange looking, I know, it's not the best looking knife in the world. It's got this big stupid lump here, and yeah, it's certainly not elegant by any stretch, but it's non-threatening, it's civilized looking, and it's yeah, it's just something different. So if you're a bit of a pocket knife hoarder or aficionado, the Ibberson Sheffield British Army knife is a great choice, I think. You get it from, or in Australia, there's a tool merchant who I get things like this from, henryeckert.com. They sell really high quality woodworking tools as well. Lanyard and Arno, Segatiers, all sorts of things that are a bit harder to get. You just can't go to a hardware store and get. So check that site out. I'll put a link down there to them because it's a good look, good browse. Cool. Thank you for your time and